is the bubbliest of all time. Yes, I know it's been a minute. Right now, learn to use your solar energy. Learn to use your mental force and jump into the mental sphere. Because a lot of energy that's going to animate your body and animate your circumstances and give you that drive, give you that pep in your step, is going to come from the mind first. This is important. You don't want to rely on the body for the feeling, because a lot of things are happening in the atmosphere that will change how you feel, to change your body. You might have symptoms like headaches, dizziness, fatigue, all kinds of things can happen. The atmosphere is changing a lot. On the geological scale, the barometric pressure has changed, the humidity has changed, our position in space has changed. A lot of things have changed, and this is affecting the human body. Every single cell is affecting every living organism on the planet. And some of these things are disclosed. Some of these things are kept close to the chest, because there's even more happening than we're being told. So focus on the solar sphere. Everything is centered around that word, that corona word. Corona means the core of the sun. There's what is called coronal mass ejections, which is the light that's coming from the sun. And then you had the recent outbreak of the COVID virus, also being short for corona, being the core of the sun. And just the coronal mass ejections that come from the sun in and of itself can cause flu-like symptoms if you're not, to a degree, excessively hydrated. That's going to be very important. Imagine trying to boil something, and boil some eggs, and there's no water in the pot. It'll be like that without the proper hydration, because it's much hotter even than we feel too, because a lot of this is ultraviolet. So just be cognizant of that. Be careful just about what you feel and how you feel. And know that it's still all is mind. It's still that one hermetic law that all is mind. You still can apply your mind. No matter how you feel, the mind can still convince the heart to propel you where you want to be. If you want to be healed, mentally make that choice. If you want to be wealthy, mentally make that choice, and mentally keep making those choices every day, every hour, sometimes every other minute. If you have opposing self-talk, you may have to do the volleyball. Negativity hits itself over the net. You hit it back over the net with a positive, and eventually you're going to dominate the negative thought. Again, this is mental sphere, solar sphere work. Very astrally centered, much more centered in the astral realm. But because we're ascending into 5D, these higher principles of 4 and 5D, and even to a degree 6D, are now part of the 3D practice while we're on this landscape, this construct, etc. Mind over matter, because mind is what matters most. Mind over matter, because mind is what matters most. Mind is what created matter. Mind is what sustains matter. Mind is what conceives matter. Mind is what changes the matter too. Mind. So keep your mind on your prize. Keep your mind at a hair trigger switch, where there's a quick switch you can flip to get your mind to boost itself in a positive direction. Don't just let it rely on diet. Don't just let it rely on lifestyle habits, because physically you might not be up to it. Even if you're doing everything well, you just physically might not be up to it. And we can't even afford to not be on our purpose when we're not up to it. That's the difference between a professional and an amateur. Amateur stops when they don't feel well. A professional can feel like crap and still do $1 million performance, because they're a professional. That is the difference between a professional and an amateur. You want to be a pro about this thing, a professional about your mind, a professional about your destiny. You don't want to be an amateur about your own life. You want to be a professional. You want to be the writer, the director, the producer. You want to be an expert on you, because now we're in such a great reset that there's such a clean slate everywhere where things can happen a lot faster, which means those practices that were coming in that are considered new age, law of attraction, a lot of people say is airy fairy. These things have solid basis, and they really go over some processes that will make life a lot easier and a lot more simple if we would apply these principles going into the mental sphere. You want to think before you feel. You want to think before you feel. Proper judgment and using and using wisdom will make you feel much better than going into something off of a feeling only for it to lead to torment because it wasn't thought through. You want to think through your feelings. You can't really feel through your thoughts, but you can always think through your feelings. This is the solar sphere. And what is the reverse of the solar sphere? The moon, the magnet, the shadow. Basically how these things affect you internally. What is your introspection about? So take these principles, apply them. Again, it's Super T Sigma, the bubbliest of all time. I hope you're enjoying the playlist. Much more to come.